Okay, it's 5:30. I call to order the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission on August 24th, 2023. Would Joe please give us the invocation, please, sir? Would y'all please stand?
Our Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to come together today to do the planning and zoning work for the city of Terrell. We thank you for this day. Thank you for watching over us. We pray that you would guide us and direct us in the work that we have to do. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies. Is there anyone who wishes to address the commission regarding a matter not on the agenda today? Anyone? No? Okay. All right. The adoption of minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes from July 27th, 2023.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second with the correction as well. I was absent last meeting. It shows that I was present.
Okay, show a correction on that. Thank you very much, sir. Do I have I'm sorry, was there a second?
Yes.
Okay. 5, 6. Okay, so second, motion approved. Okay. All right, business item for today. We're going to go to 5.1, discuss development process. I believe we have Ms. O'Mara.
Good evening, commissioners. This is just a quick little overview over the development process and kind of how things, because I know you guys see construction plats, final plats, all these zone changes, SUPs, and you're kind of like, okay, we see them all the time, but with some new friendly faces and then just a little bit of refresher, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of go through and just kind of talk about what the process is, your guys' major part that y'all play in there, as well as city council. So starting off the PowerPoint, this is just kind of how everything trickles down here. We start on the left-hand side, building and development community. This is really where it all starts. And then it goes over to city staff. City staff presents, recommends to all of these boards. So we have the Planning and Zoning Commission, the Park and Downtown Improvement Corporation, the Terrell Economic Development Corporation, the Park Board, Building Standards Commission, the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone, as well as the Zoning Board of Adjustments. Those are different boards made up of citizens in the city, just as you, that were appointed by city council. The only exception is the Zoning Board of Adjustments. They are a standalone board that they have they don't report to city council. They are the ultimate say, following state law, of course. All the other boards usually is a recommendation or a second vote to city council. So on the next slide, we'll see the development flow chart. Just kind of, let's say I'm a developer. I walk in to City Hall and you want to talk to me and you want to say, hey, I want to build a building on this lot, or I want to see this vacant piece of property. What can I do there? Or there's a vacant building down the street. I want to put a business there. What can I do? So kind of like what we go through on this, it starts off with public involvement, and then the comprehensive plan and the future land use map. Those are documents you guys refer to. We always refer to them as staff. And then we always look at the City of Terrell zoning ordinance. That is a document that you guys look at, approve, as well as city council. So we always start off kind of there. That's where the developer, if they walk in the door, we always look at the zoning ordinance, see what the property is zoned, see what the requirements are, see what we can and cannot do. From there, we take a next step, kind of do a concept plan. This is where they lay out the property, lay out the building, they talk to city staff. We offer review committee meetings that we meet with them, and then kind of figure out what's the game plan moving forward. From there, we can do zoning updates, which include zoning changes, as well as specific use permits. That is something that you guys see all the time, depending on the zoning, whether we need to change the zoning to accommodate that, the use that they want to do, or seeing how we can kind of work with the developer to get to the end goal there. Also, ZBA, the Zoning Board of Adjustments, is also something that they have the right to also apply for if they would like a variance. That goes to the ZBA. After that, we move to the construction plat. This is the infrastructure part of it. You see the fire lanes, you see all that. That comes to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and it does go to the City Council for approval as well. After the construction plat is approved by engineering and P&Z and City Council, you move into the infrastructure. That's where you see all the ground moving, roads being built, and then you move into the final plat stage, getting you your legal meets and bounds. After that, the builder comes in, the developer comes in, applies for building permits. Basically, they can go vertical from there. There are other permits that involve before they can get their CO, fire, building, health, TABC. Those are all permits that they have to go through depending on what their use is, what they're doing, have to meet certain requirements. And then that's when they get their certificate of occupancy, basically saying you have a green flag to open your business. On the next slide, these are all the different things that you guys see, zoning ordinance. We have seen that within the last 6 months, changes, edits, updates to the zoning ordinance. This is something that you guys have a high level of discretion, obviously following state law and the comprehensive plan. This is something that as staff, we always bring forward. There will be something coming forward in the next couple of months that you will see some updates to the zoning ordinance. Rezoning, we see a lot of these cases, zoning for different things. This is a medium level of discretion. We have to comply with the comprehensive plan and then see how the neighborhood impacts that, which y'all see almost every meeting. So the specific use permits, these are uses that are allowed by the zoning that is in place. However, they always require specific permission from the planning and zoning as well as city council. So that is a high level of discretion. There's always an ordinance attached with that. There's always details that it comes before you and city council. With a construction plat, this is the infrastructure that matches our standards of our TCSS as well as public safety need. Those as well, if there's a concern coming up as things that we address as staff as drainage, make sure all the fire aspects of that are there. That's something that you guys vote on as well. The final plats do come before you. However, those also, as long as they meet our zoning ordinance and state law, those have a approval by planning and zoning as a discretion. So those do, as long as they come in and meet all of our requirements, those normally pass, and they only need a planning and zoning vote to approve. And normally they do need signatures of city staff as well as your chairman. Is there any questions about, I kind of went through that really fast, but is there any questions, clarifications that I can answer?
Anyone have any questions? Kind of an easy flow chart. Very descriptive. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Next item, 5.2, we'll discuss the planning and zoning upcoming meetings. Mr. Chris Knapp? Yes, sir.
Committee members, and we bring for you, we talked about this last time. One thing I wanted to just let you know that you pencil the dates in. The December meeting, we always talk about whether it's going to go, when it's not going to go. Right now, considering the volume of work we have going on, it's pretty common we're going to have some meat on the table for us to talk about. So there's not a usually, well, we'll pass this month. There's usually so much going on. So I bring for you, look at these dates, pencil them down. If there you see that there's going to be any obstacles on the road down the way, that we can bring them up and we can talk about them. But otherwise, we're going to plan according to this schedule, and we'll try to minimize and jump in front of Thanksgiving and hop around Christmas, etc., before everybody skirts out of here. Any questions? All righty.
Well, thank you, sir, for the information. Okay. Now we're gonna jump on over to 6.1. We're gonna conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a planned development retail PD-R base zoning on 6.665 acres of land as recorded and deeded Indeed, volume 7787, page 247, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. The property is located at 15025 State Highway 205, north of County Road 236. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioners, before you, we have a planned development retail for 6.65 acres. As you see in the screen in front of you, this is the property that is before you. The highway that it fronts on is the State Highway 205. You can see there on the north of your screen. It is where Griffith comes out and meets it. So it's just south, just for reference. Stovall Used Cars is just north of this property. So it's currently the lot just south of that. It is in two parcels right now. They will be doing the entire property. If we jump over to page 25 of your packets, we can kind of see an example there, kind of while I'm going through this. The applicant came forward wanting to do a planned development. The applicant does have these existing buildings in another city, in Roy City, and they are wanting to come and do this exact same building footprint over in this area. As you can see in your zoning map, the property is currently zoned as executive estates in the back half of the property, and then retail and the property in the front. This is a proposed plan development. So there are a couple of development minimum exterior construction standards embedded into the ordinance, as well as additional landscape requirements and additional allowable uses. After the PD, if the PD is approved, then the applicant will have to go through a full construction plat of the property, as well as a final plat prior to moving forward with building. There were 10 letters that were sent out. On page 26, there's one letter that was returned in favor of the requested zone change. And based on the future land use map of this property, which does call for local commercial retail, staff is recommending approval of this ordinance.
Thank you, ma'am. I will now open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak in favor of this item, please step forward and state your name. Okay. Anyone here to speak against this item, please step forward and state your name. Okay, I will now close the public hearing. Okay, we're going to move on to action item 6.2, to discuss and consider ordinance number 3000, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, providing for the creation of a planned development retail under the provision of 31A Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell of certain real property described as 6.665 acres of land, 290,342 square feet out of the ML Swing Survey Abstract Number 500, Kaufman County, Texas, also known as 15025 State Highway 205. City of Terrell, Texas, being currently zoned as Executive Estates 32-32, 64, and being more particularly described as by metes and bounds on the plat and legal description thereof attached hereto as Exhibit A and B, and made a part hereof all purposes, providing for the repeal of conflicting orders, providing for servability, and providing an effective date.
Commissioners, we'll jump over to page 30 in your packet. This is Exhibit B that is attached to Ordinance 3000. Exhibit A is going to be the property, and Exhibit B, we'll just run through this really fast so y'all can get a little bit of details of what we are voting on. The allowable uses that are embedded with the ordinance that will be in addition to the current uses already in retail. So contractor's office shop, no outdoor storage, contractor supply warehouse, wholesale, again, no outdoor storage, any heating and air conditioning self-service, office, showroom, warehouse. Those will be allowable uses by right that are currently not allowed in retail per the zoning ordinance today. So this piece of property would allow those 4 uses. And then in addition to that, only allowed by specific use permit would be outdoor storage of equipment or materials. So when these buildings are built, if the developer gets a tenant or they sell the building, however they want to do it, that goes in there, and they do want to have outdoor storage for more than 24 hours, they will have to, even if they are, let's say, heating and air conditioning sales, any kind of use that is allowed, they will have to come forward and apply for a specific use permit, again, to have the outdoor storage. So that is something that you will see if they do need to allow that. There are additional exterior construction standards. There is 50% masonry construction against the front elevations, as well as additional landscape requirements, which is a 15-foot landscape buffer that is going to be facing Highway 205, and then additional parking lot landscaping that will kind of beautify and green up any parking that they have on there. Anything else that is not specified in this will have to go by our normal retail zoning standards. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or any discussions in regards to this? Okay, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve item 6.2 as presented.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's move on to item 6.3. We're going to conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a planned development townhouse residential base zoning on 2.298 acres of land as recorded in deed volume 5698, page 548, in the city of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. The property is located at the northwest corner of State Highway 34 and East Bryn Street, city of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. Mr. Snap.
Okay, committee, I bring to you a plan development here that is, as you can see on the map, it's located just right, a couple of blocks from here along Highway 34. And before I get too far into this, we do have in support Richard and Stacy Hunt that are the owners and developer of this, here to ask any specific questions that you may have for them. But they're here in support of this. They have worked with us numerous times on this development. They have been and met the requirements of this, except that the plan development is for the cause of plan development has to meet a certain amount of acreage, and this does not meet that. That's for, they have a plan development. Everything else meets the boundaries and all the zoning issues that we have. There was some height issues. They compared to that and changed and revised that and made all that happen. So we'll go through here. And as you recall, we send out letters within 200 feet around this. There was 39 letters sent out and 1 letter opposing. That letter is in your packet on page 50. But I also would like to show there's renderings of this property, but what I'd like to do is take a moment, and if you look at your screen, they have developed a rendering of what the property is going to look like as you are driving along this Highway 34. That seems to be a big concern of going to these townhouses. They've made a lot of investment and time in this. I want you to encourage, when you look at it, the only 2 things that are not included in this is there's going to be some additional trees. We requested some additional trees on this. And the bottom of the buildings are going to have a 60-inch stone facade on the bottom. So it's not going to just be blank walls. So there will be a bottom. That's part of our codes that we have throughout the town. So Patty, if you can show that video. Katie, not Patty. can see, as we go through they've done an exceptionally good job of putting together a rendering of what they propose in this. The challenge I put to them is the rendering needs to be respective and what we actually see, and they've committed to that, and they have met all that, and the rendering matches the drawings that they have already put together. So this property is going to be underlying as a townhouse, and it'll have an ordinance attached to it with specific uses on there, and we'll talk about that later. But that's the objective on this. The staff recommends approval on this, and I'll answer any questions at this time.
The visual was great, thank you. Enjoyed that.
I did have a question in regards to the 29 letters that were sent out. Are these letters also being sent out in Spanish, by the way, or another language besides English?
This is in English.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak in favor of this item, please step forward and state your name. All right, thank you. Anyone here to speak not in favor of this item, please step forward and state your name. Okay, I will now close the public hearing. Okay, moving on to item 6.4. Discuss and consider the ordinance number 3008, an ordinance of the City of Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, providing the creation of a planned development townhouse, 12 multifamily PDTH-TH-12, under the provision of 31A Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell. Certain real property containing 2.297 acres of land, more particularly described by meets and bounds of the plat and field notes attached hereto and Exhibit A and B, and made a part hereof for the purpose and also known as 519 Blanche Street, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Any discussion?
I drove by the area and I really thought that if it's gonna look like what we're seeing in our packet, I mean, it'll be a definite enhancement for the area. I mean, it's not like it's that large piece of land that where it could house a whole lot of townhouses to create a problem. So, if it looked like this, I wouldn't have a problem with it at all.
Well, the rendering was very good. It described a good detail on how it's gonna look, especially from 34, because you're driving, it's a lot of traffic through there, so. Any other questions or any other discussion we have?
Yeah, sheet 8, 103.1 has it, the property all the way to State Street. Is that part of their property too, all the way to State Street? Because the buffer map here has the parcels number a little bit shorter than that, not all the way to State Street.
State Street.
You're seeing it? Yeah, so for example, if you look at the east corner there.
I think the property is outlined right there in dark bold, is
Orange,
that
black,
correct, sir?
that's separate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's separate. I think this is just the one in
Yeah,
bold.
but there's two, it shows to be two single-family dwellings there.
Yes,
Is that part of the
Yes.
overall plan
Yes.
development?
yes.
Okay, so I'm
They have a
assuming
fire, and you see the fire lane circle turn around.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. If you see in this corner of State Street and Highway 34, there's two single-family dwellings. My question is that part of that
No.
plan development?
No,
No? Okay. All right. Yeah, I will make a comment, and I did see that a local company, construction company, it's helping you guys out on this, so that's great that we're using our local businesses to make stuff happen. That's my comment.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion in regards to this? Okay, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve item 6.4.
Second.
Have a first motion and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, this item carries. Okay, now we're going to 6.5. Conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a zone change from agriculture, AG, to single-family residential, 7.5 square, or SF 7.5. The property is located on the northwest corner of Town North Drive and Poultry Road, FM 986, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas.
Commissioners, before you, we have a zone change for a rezone from agricultural zoning to single-family 7.5. If we'll go to page 60, you can see the property outlined right there is on the corner of Poetry and Town North. The green does indicate that that is zoned agricultural. Just south of that on Town North, you will see that is Terrell High School. To the north, right there, it is north of Town North. All that vacant property is owned. The vacant property in the yellow is owned by the same applicant. So, however, the zone change request is just for the property outlined that is going to be ag. They are requesting to do a single-family 7.5 zoning. They have come forward wanting to develop this into single-family housing that does meet our 7.5 standards. And this is just a little acreage there that they need to get rezoned so they can full out that development. You can kind of see the whole package here, everything in yellow that is zoned 7.5 up to the future 9th Street. That is going to be the full proposed development that you will see in the future. But this is only for, again, that parcel outlined. There were 6 letters that were sent out to property owners. Nothing has been received back yet. And if we look in our packet on page 61, this property is designated in our future land use map as new traditional neighborhood. So the zoning for a single-family 7.5 zoning would follow that. And that is what staff is going to recommend approval of this zone change.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I will now open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak in favor of this item, please step forward, state your name.
Good evening, Commission. My name's Paul McCracken. I'm with Kimley Horn and Associates, and I'm here to represent the applicant and the landowner. And as Omira pointed out, I believe it's fairly straightforward, but we're certainly here to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Is there anyone here to speak against this item? Please step forward and state your name. No? Okay. Close the public hearing. All right. 6.6, discussing consider ordinance number 3007, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, amending Appendix 2, zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell by changing the zoning classification of certain real property, more particularly described as 2.624 acres of land situated in the JMH Chisholm Survey A-105, Kaufman County, Texas, and located at the northwest corner of FM 986 Poetry Road and Town North Drive, from agriculture to single-family 7.5, as shown on the plat attached hereto as Exhibit A, and made a part of hereof for all purposes, providing the servability and providing an effective date. Is there any discussion, Commissioners? Well, I'm glad they're gonna do something with it and put some single-family homes out there. You know, more home spaces, we got a school out there, so that I do.
It's been vacant as long as I can remember.
Oh, yes,
I've been
ma'am.
here a long time, so it'd be great to see something there.
Okay,
I do have
no other discussions? Do I have a motion?
I have a quick question before we make a motion. Ordinance, is this ordinance 3007 or 3008? There's, if you look at the agenda, 6.4 has it as an ordinance 3008, but we're looking at 3007 is just that, is that a typo or is that another ordinance?
I have ordinance 3007. Where are you seeing 3008?
That was at the townhouse.
That was a townhouse?
That was
Okay.
townhouse, yeah.
So we're up
6.5.
6.6?
Yes, sir. 6.6 is ordinance 3007.
That's correct, okay. Sorry about that.
Nope, you're okay.
With that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance as presented.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to 6.7. Conduct a public hearing to receive comments on a specific use permit to allow the use of a dome for cement and permanent storage. Excuse me. The property is located at Metrocrest Additions, Lot 2, Block E, on 14.74 acres, also known as 103 Metrocrest Way, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, SUP 23-06. Mr. Snapser.
Committee, I bring to you, as stated there, as SRM's proposing to put a concrete dome for storage of cement. And if you will go to the map, Katie, wait, let's hold off on that. Want to get you oriented, make sure everybody knows where this is located. It's currently in our industrial park. They've already been there for a number of years, and they're looking to expand to store cement, which they will receive by rail, and it will be conveyed from the rail cars into the dome. And from the dome, it will be used here locally with the concrete, and it will also be with trucks to be hauled out. So we worked out the logistics. Representatives are here today that are supporting it. They've worked with us very well. They came in initially and it was too high, so they made some modifications. They've been very cooperative in working with us. Great team of individuals. But they're going to put this concrete dome, and I want to, we have another rendering, and I want to preference this rendering that what they did is we were very much concerned with the appearance, and as we drive in on 80, from most folks will drive in 80 from Dallas, but they won't come in through interstate. They'll actually come through 80. So they have actually taken a video of the actual foliage currently that's there, and then imprinted and overlaid the dome into that. So it's going to look like you're riding in the car and you'll actually see it. So let's get this. This will help get a touch and feel for you. Go ahead and play that, Katie. Okay, if you'll play it again, and here shortly, we'll stop it. Right there. Okay, so you've got a good understanding of what they're proposing to do. On this dome, it'll also be their logo going across the dome from there. But one of the other things they've also stepped up to is you can see the conveyors and the towers. Those are actually stair tower, elevator towers, conveyors. But we've asked them, and they're going to enclose those so the appearance will be like a regular building. So everything will be covered up, especially from the Highway 80 side. So they've met all the requirements on this. There were 6 letters sent out and no one opposed from there. And the staff approves this request. Do I have any questions?
Exactly, see this. When I drove out there, I saw where the concrete trucks were parked along the side, like on the north side of the property. So is that where the dome, will it be located where the trucks
If
are?
you go to the map, Katie, Right there.
Okay,
It'll be right in that area right there. So
okay.
you can see they already currently have rail exiting off.
I saw that.
They're gonna actually add another double track to that so they can store more cars. And they're gonna do their own shuffling of cars when they do the unloading. So that's be right in that neck of that area, it'd be in the back of the property. So if you're on Metrocrest Way, it's gonna be on back to the back.
So are they gonna, I saw where that street, there was no, you couldn't exit, but you could come through. Will that be open? I'm just curious. You know anything about that?
Yes, that's under discussion.
Okay, okay,
Just leave it at that we might open it, we might not, but it's under discussion.
okay. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Looking forward to seeing that.
But, you know, regardless of that, there's a turnaround down there for trucks.
Saw that as well.
That was made for that when the road was shut down. If you
Okay.
recall, that was shut down for some fatalities that happened many years ago. So,
Yeah, I did see the turnaround, so that was helpful for me to
yeah,
get out of there.
right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. We'll now open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak in favor of this item, please step forward and state your name. Thank you, sir.
How are you? I'm Herbert Gears, 555 Promenade Parkway from Irving, Texas. I'm with the team here today to answer any questions. This is it's an honor actually to talk in front of you. Long ago, when I was much younger, I was asked to serve on the P&Z out in Irving, Texas, and that experience was tremendous. And of course, learning about all the important interests that you all have to deal with. So I appreciate your service. But in any case, this type of infrastructure improvement to the operation, you know, really creates opportunity for efficiencies and capacities to serve, you know, the demand, you know, for a growing area, you know, for cement and products like that. So we're here if you have any questions. We appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay, is there anyone here to speak against this item? Please step forward and state your name. No? Okay. Close the public hearing. Moving on to item 6.8. Discuss and consider the ordinance number 3006, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, granting a specific use permit under the provision of 31B Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell to Ben Inslee, allowing an exception to the provision of the Section 30 Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell for certain property, more particularly described as Lot 1, Block 1, Metrocrest Addition to the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, by permitting a construction dome for cement storage to be located on said property currently zoned as light industrial, according to the plat attached hereto as Exhibit A, and made a part of hereof for all purposes, providing for the repeal of a conflicting ordinance, providing for servability, and providing an effective date. Any discussion, commissioners? I have a question. I hear you have the flags being put on one of these. Is that what we're gonna be doing out there too?
Do what?
On this picture, you have, I guess you got the
Oh, the rendering?
logo with the
Yes.
rendering, and then the flag out there.
Yes.
A little art on it, thank you.
We're gonna put an Aggie flag on there.
That's what we need.
Sorry.
So this is something similar that we see when we're going in 80 towards Dallas. I don't know if it's in our city, but it's on the right-hand side. There's a concrete, what was it?
They're off Los Lomas Road and
Lomas.
557 in that
Something
low
identical
area.
to that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions and discussion, gentlemen, commissioners? Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we recommend passage of 6.8.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're going to action items. 7.1. Discuss and consider a construction plat for Crossroads at Terrell Phase 3A, Lot 2R, Block 1, being a replat of a portion of Lot 2, Block 1 being 2.133 acres out of the John C. Hale Survey, abstract number 202, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, located between Spur 557 and American Way, west of Merchant Way, CP 23-04.
Committee will bring for you here a construction plat there at Crossroads. You see on the map, this is located, they have provided their construction plat on this, and the application, you see the location, and next to it, behind it, is also the construction plat for this. This is going to be the Twin Peaks restaurant out there, and the staff recommends approval for it. Any questions?
Questions for staff? No? Is there a motion? I have a motion to approve action item 7.1. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Motion 7.1 carries. Action item number 2. Discuss and consider construction plat of MetroCrest Additions Lot 2R, Block E being 14.74 acres out of the D. Danwood Survey, abstract number 123, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, also known as 103 MetroCrest Way, CP 23-05. Sir, Mr. Snap.
This is the construction plat relative to the concrete dome that we just previously discussed. So I think you got the picture on this. So this is the construction plat, and the staff recommends approval.
Okay. If there are any other questions, Commissioners, do I have a motion?
I move a motion we approve 7.2.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I have a second to approve motion 7.2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 7.2. Action item 7.3, discuss and consider a final plat for Pepino Additions, Lot 1 through 5, Block A, being 3.225 acres, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, located Mineral Wells, south of Bradshaw Street, FP 23-18.
Commissioners, before you, we have a final plat for a single-family development there. Just to orient us, this is a property that's going to be facing Mineral Wells and the corner of Bradshaw Street. The developer came forward and is proposing this development in 2 phases. So if we jump over to page, super small, 99, that is really hard to see, but as you can see on Mineral Wells, there are 5 lots that are platted facing Mineral Wells that are going to be 75-foot lots by 110-foot deep, so they do meet our requirements. And if you can see there in the middle, they're also platting a cul-de-sac entrance that will be leading to that second phase. So there will be, in the triangle back part, there will be single-family homes as well that will be circling that cul-de-sac that will be coming forward to you at a later date. But right now, we're just talking about the plats for the single-family homes that are facing Mineral Wells. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is phase 2 being shown, or has the city seen any part of the phase 2?
We have seen the proposed outline of how the houses are going to sit, but as far as platting them, as far as dimensions and stuff like that, nothing has been done moving forward. That's going to be in phase 2.
So that part, the road that leads to phase 2 will be looked at, right, prior to phase 2?
Correct. It is a cul-de-sac.
Make sure.
This plat is just platting that beginning, which they will have to do before they can move into their phase 2. I believe the intent behind this, the builders are here, and so I believe their intent, please correct me if I'm wrong, is to build those houses on the front Mineral Wells and then do that phase 2 afterwards.
rest of the cul-de-sac on the second phase.
And the cul-de-sac would obviously have to meet minimum requirements, design for fire lane, stuff like that, right?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people not prepare for that phase two, then if they got phase one done, they have to go back and start messing it a little bit up to comply. In other words, I see that a lot, so I'm just wondering, make sure that they do it right.
It won't be approved before they even move any dirt. So the drawing will have to be approved prior to that.
Thank you.
We do appreciate more housing. Thank you. Any other discussion? Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve action item 7.3.
I have a motion to approve 7.3. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second to approve 7.3. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion 7.3 carries. Action item 7.4, discuss and consider a final plat for Mount Hebron Estates, lots 1 and 2, 3 and 4 being 4.5 acres out of the M. Gilbreth Survey, abstract number 166, City of Terrell, ETJ, Kaufman County, Texas, also known as 7040 County Road 301, FP 23-19.
Commissioners, before you, we have a final plat in the ETJ. So as you can see here on the screen in front of you, this is at the end of County Road 301. The property is currently unplatted, but you can see there is a vacant piece of property there. The applicant is wanting to do 4 different lots for a total of 4.5 acres. And each of the lots will consist of 1 acre minimum, and there is a 30-foot access easement along the north side of the property to give access to that back property back there off of County Road 301. A reminder that the property is in the ETJ, so the City of Terrell does not have zoning authority in this area, just platting authority. And staff does recommend approval of the final plat.
No, we don't have zoning, but what are they, just gonna do some homes? Is that what they're planning on?
Honestly, I have no idea what their intention is, sir.
They mentioned it, okay. Any other discussion, commissioners? No? Do I have a motion?
Move to approve item 7.1 as present, 7.4 as presented.
I have a motion to approve 7.4. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second to approve motion 7.4. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 7.5, discuss and consider a final plat for Crossroads at Terrell Phase 3A, Lot 2R, 3 and 4 being a replat of Lot 2, Block 1 being 7.466 acres, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, located at the northwest corner of American Way and Merchant Way along spur 557, FP 23-20.
Commissioners, before you, there is a final plat for Crossroads at Terrell Phase 3A. This is going to include lots 2R, 3, and 4. Earlier in the packet, you saw a construction plat for one of those lots, that is Twin Peaks parcel, but the owner of the property and the developer is coming forward and platting out the rest of the property. So as you can see, right now it is just one big lot, and they are platting this out into 3 separate parcels along with the right-of-way there for Independence Parkway. So that will come out to spur 557, and this does meet all the requirements for the city, and staff does recommend approval of this final plat.
Any questions, commissioners, or any discussions?
This is part of the replat, right? This replat process or final plat?
It is a replat final plat. The applicant is, the whole Crossroads development out there is, as they are developing, they are final platting all the properties. So this is a perfect example. Twin Peaks came in, bought the piece of property, so they're moving forward to build, doing a construction plat on the property just for their parcel. And then the owner developer is coming in and final platting on those properties to be able to legally sell off those parcels to the person coming forward wanting to build. So it is a replat of a final plat that was done into one property dividing it up.
And that was a couple years ago or a year ago, or it was obviously a long time ago, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir, any other questions, discussions? Not, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve action item 7.5.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second to approve action item 7.5. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so it looks like we're not having action item 8 or 9, so any other questions? Meetings